Premier, thanks very much for your time. Today, the Prime Minister talking about 180,000 free TAFE places next year. I know this has already been a priority for you, hasn't it?
Yes, we've been doing it in Queensland, and we just recently announced that we would be extending it till June next year. So this news today means that it'll be extended right until the end of 2023, which is fantastic, in key industries that we've identified across Queensland. If you skill up your young people through TAFE, you're actually giving them a head start to get into employment. So making it free and accessible is a good thing, and I welcome that extra commitment from the Prime Minister.
And you also had your own employment summit, and what I was reading in the lead up to our interview is that you've got hundreds of thousands of jobs that you need to fill in just a few years, don't you?
That's right. So by 2024-25, we need 280,000 extra workers. It's really interesting. It's in like education, it's in healthcare, it's in mining. But what we've done is we've actually mapped it region by region. So different regions need different skills. But healthcare is a big issue. We need more nurses and more doctors, more allied health professionals. This is a big issue in regional Queensland.
The New South Wales Premier says that there's too much focus on industrial relations at this summit. It needs to be all about filling those skill shortages and those worker shortages.
Can I just sort of reject that? Because what you're seeing here, like you had the Business Council of Australia sitting side by side with the ACTU, sitting next to each other, having business, industry, community and unions all in one room, wanting the best for this country. You're not going to get much better than that. And what we are identifying are what are some of those issues that stop people getting into training, looking at migration issues, and also to female participation. This has been really something that has not been talked about enough, and to have a whole session starting today's summit on getting more women into the workforce with issues such as more accessible childcare, these are the conversations we need to have, and everybody is listening.
So to utilise the Australian workers that we have already, in not just women but mature age workers, but on the women component, would you support the federal government bringing forward their childcare changes from July 1 next year to January 1 if they were able to do that?
Oh, look, I'll let them make those decisions. They've got a lot of budgetary issues to look at the moment, but we do know that our childcare workers need to get paid more, and there needs to be more accessibility for people, and really it's such an important job.
And also the mature age workers, to encourage them to do more hours. Would you like to see that?
I'd like to see that, but another area where we would like to raise is the issue that there are many nurses and allied health professionals at the moment who are on the pension, and we think we can identify a couple of thousand in Queensland alone, and we would be able to, if their pension wasn't impacted, be able to enter the workforce for a short period of time, for 1 to 2 years. Very complex issues, but we need those health professionals now.
Given we've had these lockdowns, the border closed for as long as we have, so much of this comes down to migration though, doesn't it, to boost those skilled migration numbers?
Oh, absolutely. My grandfather came to this country after the Second World War as a skilled migrant. I'm the granddaughter of a skilled migrant. People put so much into raising their families here, and then their children continue to contribute to our society. I think it's a good thing, but we need to clear that backlog. I know the Prime Minister is committed to getting those visas approved as quickly as possible, but we also need to support our young people at the moment and tell them there's a range of jobs out there for them, and match the high schools with the training they need for their particular regions. And we're doing that at the moment in areas such as defence, in train manufacturing. I was in Maryborough the other week. And the local high school will be trained so they can get their jobs in all the different industries that are needed to make our trains in Queensland. In Bowen, we're looking at partnering with the high schools there for aquaculture, which is a growing area, and also too in Gladstone and Townsville, hydrogen. This is really exciting, new technology. Let's get our schools getting the skills for their young people so they can get jobs in their local communities.
And I notice on your lapel the Olympic rings, and it's not that long, only a decade, but I'm wondering, how do the skill shortages affect your massive infrastructure demands in southeast Queensland? Anyone that's been to Brisbane recently, you'll see the Cross River Rail and the various other things that are happening. It's a huge spend. Can you get it done with the lack of workers?
Well, at the moment, we've got a capital spend of over $40 billion over the next 4 years. And like you said, M1, Bruce Highway, and of course a lot of work is needed in some of our key infrastructure programs. But look, we'll be identifying what are the skills we are needing. But, you know, I think...
Is everything still on track? At this stage?
Yes, of course. Oh, yeah, we've got 10 years. We have this is the longest runway anyone's ever seen in the lead up to the games. So we're very confident. A lot of planning's happening now, and we'll have a lot of key announcements coming over the next 12 months.
And just finally, I know you've got to get back into the summit, but it's been this fascinating parallel between your success at the state level in politics and federally Labor just can't convert. Why is that in terms of the Labor Party? Even at the recent election where seats went, they went to the Greens.
Well, I think what you're going to see, well, you saw the rise of the Teals in Sydney and, of course, in Melbourne, and I think the Greens sort of captured that market in Queensland. Look, at the end of the day, it's about jobs, and Labor governments deliver on jobs, they deliver on training and education and working collaboratively together. And I think when Queenslanders get to know Anthony Albanese more, they will love him, and hopefully we'll see better results in Queensland at the next federal election.
Queensland Premier Annastacia Palaszczuk, appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you, my pleasure.